get knocked down many times chasing your dreams. You will feel like you don't have the energy to get back up. You don't have the strength to get back up. You will feel like giving up is the only option. When you're hit, when you've been knocked down by life, that's when it's time to hit back. That's when it's time to hit back. Many people get hit by life, but they never hit back.
Are you going to stay down, or are you going to decide to get back up? It takes courage. It takes confidence. It takes a strong mindset to get back up when nobody believes in you.
There's a lion inside all of us, but some people decide to never let that lion out. Many people keep that lion locked in his cage. Are you hungry for that dream? Are you willing to fight for that dream?
Let the lion out. Get hungry for your dream. Go hunt your dream. Talking about that dream won't take you far. Working will.
Doubters will tell you to be realistic. Haters will tell you to quit.
You are the only one who can go and get it. It's your dream. No one will chase it for you. No one will hunt for you. No one will support your dream but you.
There's a quote that goes, everyone wants to eat, but a few are willing to hunt. Everyone wants to succeed, but few are willing to put in the work required.
Stop limiting yourself. You can make your dream into a reality, but it will only take one person to believe that it's possible. It will only take one person to put in the work. That person is you.
There's plenty of humans before you who have accomplished big things, who are living their dream life. They've done it. That is proof you can too. It is proof that you can live your dream if you really want it.
You are the most dangerous enemy to your dreams because only you decide when to quit and give up on your dreams. Only you decide when to kill these dreams. You're more powerful than you even know. You can change the world with your dream. But it only requires you to get out of your comfort zone and unleash the inner lion. It requires you to let the lion out of its cage. It requires you to chase your dreams no matter what.
If you have a weak mindset, if you're afraid of taking risks, you will never get far in life. You will never get that dream with a weak mindset.
Create a mindset that keeps you moving even when others quit.
Life is unpredictable. It's full of surprises. You might be closer than you think. Your dream can become a reality if you refuse to quit.
Be like a lion. Never back down from the challenges you face. A lion never stops chasing his prey until it catches it. You never stop chasing your dream until you live it.
Dream big and never let small minds convince you that, but you know better. Believe in yourself.
If you are in the way of my goals and dreams, I suggest you move.
Informative and entertaining talk and music for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Life. How beautiful it is. How amazing it is to be able to rise up in the morning and have that sun shine on your face rather than on your grave. What makes life so unique and so beautiful? It is beautiful because whatever you have that you may be facing, what you may be dealing with, life is still good. Life has so many moving parts, but life is always good. Every day is a new day and another opportunity that others may not have. This life that you have been given, this life that you are temporarily holding on to, this life that has been just given to you for only temporary reasons has more meaning than you can ever imagine. So many people in the world take life for granted instead of realizing that you have to take the opportunity to live it the best way you know how. Now, on this journey of life, you're gonna face a significant amount of circumstances, a significant amount of challenges. You're gonna fall into areas that you cannot understand. And maybe it's not in a position for you to understand at that moment. When you start to feel that you are in a position that you don't love your life, then shame on you. Because your life is a beautiful thing. And no one deserves to ruin it. No one deserves to control it. No one deserves to steal your joy. Your life is your life, and you have the right to live it the best way you can. You must discipline yourself and take full control and responsibility for the outcome or whatever it is that you are seeking at this moment. There are gonna be so many different things that you will embark on. There are gonna be so many different things that's gonna try to slow you down. There are gonna be so many different challenges that you must face. But instead of running away from the challenge, run towards the challenge. Be able to understand that life has meaning. It has reason. And all of these things that you may be thinking that is so hard on you, just remember, sometimes you're gonna have to go through these changes, these circumstances that puts you in a position to make you feel that you're not worthy anymore. But make no mistake, you are worthy. You were created for something. You wasn't created for nothing. Life has a gift of giving, a gift of receiving. And whether if it's good or bad, you got to make sure you understand that these circumstances and these challenges has to happen in your life. You will come to a point that you may feel that you are in a hopeless situation. You may come to a point in your life where you're at the end of a rope and the only thing left to do is to climb up, because you only can do so much for so long. But make sure you're doing much more instead of doing less. Stop stressing about the things that you cannot control and start focusing on the things that you have control of. Take control of your life. Take control of the opportunities. Believe in yourself. And know that it is not over for you. So many people out there in this world right now will try to tell you not to be something that you feel in your heart that you want to be. So many people out there right now are miserable, and they'll try their best to take you with them. Do not let misery control the life that you have. Do not let anyone tell you how to live it. Do not let anyone validate your purpose. Do not let anyone validate your destiny. Someone told you a long time ago that you wasn't worthy. Someone looked you in the eye and said you wasn't gonna make it. I say to you right now that you will make it. I say to you right now that you must make it. I say to you right now that you must tell excuses, fear, and doubt that it has no place in your place of business. For this is your life that you are fighting for. This is your life that you are living for. And make no mistake, no one is gonna do you better than you. Don't wait for something to happen. You make it happen. You make it happen for a reason. And take full responsibility and control of this thing we call life.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music. You're listening to TW3 Radio.
How could a man hit a target he could not see? That's a pretty good question. Here's another one. How can you hit a target you do not have? Besides, planes are built for flying. Ships are built for sailing. Houses are built for living. And man, too, was built for purpose. He was designed for accomplishment. He's engineered for success. He's endowed with the seeds of greatness. And the greatest danger we as human beings have is when we do not do anything at all. People today complain of lack of time. It's not lack of time that's the problem. It's the lack of direction. Are you a wandering generality? Or are you a meaningful, specific? Are you going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday? If that's the reason you're going tomorrow, you won't be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday because you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal you do not have. What about you personally? Have you got your goals laid out? Are you a meaningful, specific, or are you a wandering generality?
See, you are part of an equation, and you are needed. Part of why we should begin to look at how we give up our lives, that we got to begin to see, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What is my life work? And then give ourselves to that. Because as we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, as you begin to take on this new era that we're in, if you decide that I'm going to begin to start living life, I'm going to start giving more of myself, I'm going to start putting out more, contributing more to life. Here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you that life will take on a whole new meaning for you. I guarantee you that life takes on a whole new dimension. That you'll be happier, you have a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment in life, that now you will begin to take off on some new paths to some newer horizons. That you'll begin to see life totally different than most people.
You got to have those long-range goals. And the rule is a simple one. You go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll always be able to see further. Are you a wandering generality? Or are you a meaningful, specific?
And most of us go through life because we're not using that which we've been given, that we are punished, that we're going through life getting up in the morning with no reason to get up. There's a scripture, when I heard it, I couldn't understand it. I say, how cold? He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. He that hath a generous view of life, he that has courage, he that hath initiative, he that hath resourcefulness.
I say it with all of my heart. I know in my mind that man was designed for accomplishment, that he's engineered for success, that he is endowed with the seeds of greatness.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com. Home of TW3, the most powerful marketing tools, training, and technology on planet Earth. Get ready to earn, enjoy, and experience more than you ever dreamed was possible. If you're tired of just getting by and ready to really thrive, then buckle in and listen up. Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
You feel like you're watching ESPN. It's like Friday Night Football is about to come on some high school.
I feel like you didn't baptize them correctly, though. What you really need to do is turn it all the way up, like you do occasionally, and then you put the headphones on.
Yeah,
and then you're just like.
We actually did a sound check before.
What's that like? I like that.
We care for our guests.
Sound check?
What's a sound check?
What does that mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 433, and you are listening to TerryWilson3.com. Happy Labor Day. Tonight we're celebrating Labor Day and how you don't have to labor every day to earn a paycheck, but rather working now for a tomorrow that gets a little easier and a little easier and a little easier. Tonight I'm talking about working for the goal of having an easier, more enjoyable, and deeply enriching life starting today, continuing tomorrow, and becoming easier each day thereafter. You see, the trap most people fall into is this time for money exchange throughout their entire lives, trading time for money. They never become wise about the laws of leverage. You know, the good book says one can put 1,000 to flight, but two can put 10,000 to flight. What that basically is saying, when you employ the laws of leverage, you can accomplish way greater things than what you could do otherwise. In essence, what I'm going to try and talk with you tonight about is this. In your stream of income, can you scale it beyond your own efforts in your current employment, in your current business? Can you scale it beyond what you can do solely? Can you earn new money on old efforts? Can you do something one time today that has an exponential effect for several days afterwards to earn a continued revenue stream? That, to me, and in my humble opinion, is the only way to build wealth. Tonight, we're going to be talking about that and how you can start building wealth today a whole lot easier than what you may have first thought. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And guys, if you think, oh God, here he goes, he's going to be pitching some MLM or network marketing. Absolutely not. We don't promote that here. That's not what we're about. But we are going to be talking to you about business models that you ought to consider implementing in your business, and we're going to show you how to do that in segment 2. That you don't have to join, some pill, thrill, lotion, or potion company that wants you to call your friends, family, and foes and pester everybody online selling some sort of bobo berry, to try to make millions of dollars this week. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being smart about designing a business that will create a passive income model for you, a residual income model, and do it in an area that you're very passionate about. But before we get into that, my sons in whom I am well pleased. What is going on, boys?
What's up?
What's up? How is that other place?
We don't talk about that place here.
We're not going to talk about that
place of happy thoughts. Good vibes.
This is my happy zone, huh? You're not going to talk about the Lord's chicken?
You know how like a snake sheds its skin like every few days or whatever? Or I don't know anything about snakes. I'll use that as an example. But point is, once I leave a certain place that won't be named, I shed that skin and I'm a new man.
You're like the old civil rights leader, free at last. Free at last. Yeah. So you guys have no stories.
Oh, there's lots of stories, but just not
none that's appropriate.
This is a business show, right? Yeah.
Ryan, every week they come in with stories from the front line. Apparently, this whole pandemic situation that's been going on has been
it's made things funny.
Has made customers that come through the drive-through so much more relaxed, so much more giving. Really? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They say this is the best time to get in customers, especially in fast food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, they're so reasonable.
So much patience.
So patience galore.
Absolutely.
I had a customer last week almost throw a frosted coffee at me from the window. And there's just certain levels of like, how much do I really want this job? Like, because if somebody throws a frosted coffee at you, like, it's reasonable to assume that I'm going to jump out the window and I'm going to throw hands. Like, yeah.
That doesn't seem unreasonable.
Like, I feel like anybody in that position would be like, okay, yeah, I guess today's the day I leave. I don't know.
Today's the day I go to. Well, I think that's against the law too. So
yeah, I mean, it's assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, I don't know about
frosted
deadly.
coffee. That's deadly.
Oh yeah.
Like, I could be allergic to cocoa beans or whatever. You don't know.
How did she kill him, Your Honor? Well, he is allergic to peanuts. And
So it was a frosted coffee. What? Yeah.
So the gentleman sitting beside Reagan is a good friend of ours, good friend of the family. For you guys who've read my book, You Are Worth More, there's a story in there where how I got into the insurance business by this pastor friend who said, hey, Terry, with your mouth and proclivities to yak a lot, you ought to consider insurance. Well, that was this gentleman's dad.
It was.
Yeah, and so this is your fault. And you can tell your dad I said
technically I got him into the business.
That's right.
So there you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got him into the business, and then he got me.
Yeah,
so.
there you go.
So how's the insurance world doing?
It's been great. With this whole pandemic, it's certainly been a little different, but it's like everything. You got to evolve, figure out new ways. And, let's face it, people are still needing our products and services. So
Sure.
It's been good. It's been presenting new challenges, but those that are willing can survive. So, so we're doing pretty well.
So you guys still do a lot of business in the field?
We are, for the first couple of months, it was interesting. We saw that dip a little bit,
Sure.
But and we obviously embraced the WebExes, the Zooms, all the different modes that everybody else was using. But
right.
We still found people still looking for that face to face. There's still a large percentage of the population that they want to sit down with someone. They want to look across the table. They want to have that personal relationship and get to know people and trust the person who's going to be advising them on these things. So we're still we're doing a ton of in-home and still doing a lot of face-to-face business.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine, especially in the senior market, it would almost be impossible to do Zoom virtual type.
That's been interesting to see. I would have said 6 months ago that it would be 100% impossible to see, 2%, 3%, maybe 5% of people would actually from that age market. But it's amazing. They are actually adapting quicker than I would have thought.
Yeah.
We're still doing quite a few
Zooms,
and we use WebEx just for security purposes.
Sure. But the same principle.
Same principle. Yeah. We're doing that, and it's been pretty crazy. People are changing with the times quicker than I would have thought. So,
well, for me, I can't speak, but as a field agent, field underwriter, I think is the technical term. Sure. I would probably prefer that if I could get away with it.
I think it is. If for those that have been able to figure out how to maximize that, it's more time efficient. It's cost savings as well. You can get way more done in a day.
Plus you only have to dress from here up.
That's true. Absolutely. I
don't even have to buy shoes and pants anymore.
No, it's great. So no, it is more effective if you're willing to adapt. So.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's Mr. Ryan Elkins. And can we mention the name of the company? I don't want to, because I didn't know if we could or couldn't.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, we won't say anything to embarrass anybody.
No, that's good.
But that's how I started with this captive agent that he manages, and can year after year, you guys are one of the top. Yeah, the top.
We've been in the top 10 in the nation within our firm for the last 13 years that I've been there. 14 years for 13 out of 14 years. So,
wow. Yeah. And your title, you're the regional manager,
agency director, registered principal, a few other things, but yeah.
What should I call you other than what we don't say on air?
Well, there's a lot of things you could call me. We'll leave those off.
I got you. More titles than what the bathroom wall says.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, he runs a great outfit. They're based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They were the ones that actually got me. It's their fault. The reason I even came out of the music world into the insurance world is because of a company called Western and Southern Life. Yeah. And found out for years, I was like, why do they call this company Western and Southern?
It's a railroad. That's what it sounds like.
That's like a thing on Monopoly you buy for $200. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
What is this? And well, because they're it's the western southern part of
Westernmost southern part of Ohio.
of Ohio, yeah. Which I tell
That
you,
would have been confusing.
Which in 1888, they probably had no idea that they were going to become a nationwide firm, you know, and be what they are today. So
yeah, they was probably thinking just the state, and so we're the
Most
western
likely.
southern,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell you, Cincinnati has a unique way of naming financial institutions and banks. One particular, and I'm just going to, if I can.
The fraction.
Yeah, Fifth Third.
Yeah, I hate that.
Until I went to work with you guys
Yeah.
and had to do training up there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what Fifth Third and why. I was like, why would you bank at a place that can't reduce an improper fraction?
These guys are bad at math. I don't trust them.
I'm not giving you my money.
Yeah.
We're out.
So, but it's named after the corner of the 5th Street and 3rd Street.
Yep.
Or Avenue, whatever it is.
In Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's memorable.
Well, I would have said 3rd, 5th, 3/5. But I guess they had to do it that way so people wouldn't say 3/5 bank.
Yeah. Which is worse.
Yeah, for sure.
Goodness gracious. Well, anyway, guys, when we get back, we're going to go into a training, and I want to show you a business model that honestly, no matter what type of business you're in, I think you need to implement and execute some of these components that you're going to see me illustrate in this training when we get back. And then in segment 3, Reagan, we're going to take questions.
Yeah.
We're taking
That's
questions.
what we're doing.
We're taking questions. You got it? It's a podcast, so you have to verbalize.
I do got it. I can give it for the video viewers. His was his response.
All right. We'll be back right after this. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, but 2020 has had its challenges. But one of the things that I'm proud about what we teach, train on, and advocate here at TW3 is when you have the right tools, training, and technology, you can mitigate some of, not all, but some of the effects of downturns in economy, shifts in industries, even economic and political challenges that your market that you call on might be facing. This year into 2020, You Are Worth More conference, I gave a training on warning opportunities ahead, how to see and provide value during COVID-19 and even beyond. We liked that training so much. We felt like it had so much content and had so much value in it, we turned it into a book. There's 3 ways that you can get this book. You can go to Amazon.com and get the Kindle version. You can go to Amazon.com and get the written version. And it's a very small book, by the way. It's only about 46 pages. You can read this literally within an hour. Or you can go over to TerryWilson3.com and go to my store and get the audio video training of the session we had at You Are Worth More conference. So I really think you ought to get this. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what you're selling. You could be listening to this advertisement well beyond 2020. You know, one thing's promised. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we can always assume that there's going to be challenges. That's just the way life is. And if you can be equipped to be able to help people and bring value to people in challenging times, you are going to create a business that can withstand any economic shift, political shift, or societal changes that happens. So go over to TerryWilson3.com and get warning opportunities ahead, or go to Amazon.com and get it today.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner. And now, back to the TW3 studios with Terry Wilson.
All right, so we're back. Let's get into the training now on how you can build wealth through a strategic business model.
I want to talk to you about building wealth. Specifically, I want to share with you the 3 major components you have to have in your wealth building strategy to actually build wealth. Today is Labor Day, and I thought it would be very fitting to help inform, inspire, and illustrate to anyone who is motivated to learn how to start removing some of the labor from their day. Most people have to work for each day that they want to earn. The idea of working 8 hours for an 8-hour wage is thought of as normal, reasonable, and what one should expect out of their career. However, after working for myself, owning my own companies, and working straight commission my whole life, there are two major truths I've come to recognize. Number one, you can earn to the degree you're willing to learn. And number two, wealth comes from execution on a proven strategy and not from effort in a popular system. You see, it's very popular to punch a clock, go to work for company X, settle for what they say you're worth, do what they tell you to, when they tell you to, work with who they tell you to, and expect what they tell you to. Just ask any of your broke, busted, and disgusted friends who hate their jobs. Or ask your more affluent, college-educated friends with high student loans that are slaves to both an industry and college debt who hate their jobs, insecure about constant macro shifts in the economy and their specific industry. You see, no matter who you ask, the low income or the high income, the educated or the undereducated, they all have the same problem. They don't own their careers. They don't own their future. They have no control of what happens tomorrow in their place of employment. So if you're looking for what's popular, then follow the masses off into the desert of disappointment, disillusionment, and despair. Just please do me this one favor. Don't complain about the small percentage of us, say the 1%ers of us, that choose a different path. So tonight, let me propose a different idea. Not a new one, just a different one that has helped me and thousands of others grow true wealth. Now, don't check out on me, and I can hear someone saying, oh, great, here we go again. Another get-rich-quick multi-level marketing pitch by some so-called internet guru. No, actually, it's quite the opposite. First, I want to tell you right up front, and what I'm going to show you has nothing to do with MLM or network marketing. As a matter of fact, it really has nothing to do with joining any business at all. It has to do with 3 key components that you need to add to the current business you are in or the current business that you're trying to build. No matter what business you're in or trying to build, you must have these 3 components fully operational in them in what you're doing if you ever hope to try to build wealth. Now, let's define the term. What is wealth? At least, what do I mean by it when I say wealth? You know, I believe that wealth isn't a matter of the amount of money you have, but the ability of the money you have. Let me say it again. Wealth is not about the amount of money you have, but the ability of the money that you have. If you're still working for your money rather than having your money work for you, then who owns who? Wealth has 3 major components to it, and without these 3 components, I believe it can't be called wealth. It's called something else. Number 1, you have to have a margin of income. If I have true wealth when I'm no longer working for every dime that I make, but my dimes are working for me. True wealth has margin of income. I'm not just getting by, but I'm thriving. I'm not just paying the bills, but I'm paying the bills, putting money back, and having money to enjoy life. Number 2, I need to have a margin of time. Income with no freedom of time is not wealth. It's just a larger income. Many professions provide high incomes because they are more difficult tasks that require higher skills, more sophisticated thinking, and a greater degree of understanding to perform. However, the moment the professional stops performing those tasks, the income stops. This makes the professional a slave to time, and more difficult than that, it's usually on someone else's schedule. So you got to have a margin of income, you got to have a margin of time. You also have a margin of obligation. And what I mean by that, the third element of true wealth is when I'm not only making good money on my time, but I'm doing what I love to do, not what I'm obligated to do. So many times you will see people who have reached a certain level of success in their money and time still unhappy and unfulfilled because they hate what they do. Everything they are doing is because they feel obligated or they are obligated to do in order to keep the business going. So If you're doing something you hate but have free time and good money, you still don't have what I call wealth. So how do you start building wealth? How do you start positioning what you do in your business to build wealth? You first have to understand where wealth comes from, to understand how to build, cultivate, and grow it. Wealth comes from this ancient word that most people just conflate with being smart, knowledgeable, or something to do with intellectualism. However, the word wisdom has nothing to do with how smart you are, what degrees you hold, or your IQ. Wealth comes from wisdom. Wisdom has to do with how to apply what you know. In other words, do you know how to take what you know and apply it to a given situation? It has nothing to do with knowing the most, being trained the most, or having the most esteemed pedigree of certification. It has to do simply with taking what I know, whatever amount that is, and applying it in a given situation to perform and to produce value. Let me give you a quick example. You're going to love this. I was asked to accompany a bagpipe player at a funeral. This has been years ago. And he was going to play Amazing Grace. Now, the bagpipe, it'll be written in the key of D. A lot of people think they're in D, but they're actually sharp on one end, flat on the other end. And it turns out typically concerts pitch a bagpipe, especially from northern Scotland and those areas, the Highlands, they're typically in E flat. Well, I was a young keyboard player at the time, well, not very sophisticated and all the nuances of how to play different arrangements and different things, and then in different keys especially. I'd always played Amazing Grace in F and then modulated to G. That's just the way I'd always played it. Well, this gentleman was in somewhere between D and E flat. And so I had to figure out, how am I going to accompany this guy? Because they were wanting me to put a string patch behind this bagpipe player playing at this funeral at this church. What just so happened, I knew this keyboard. I knew the keyboard. I knew how to transpose the keyboard. And because I knew the pitch on that bagpipe was sharp on one end, flat on the other end, I knew I needed to stay in the middle register of that keyboard. So I transposed it down 2.5 steps, or 2 half steps, and put it from F. I'm playing in F, but I transposed the keyboard down to where it sounds like it's playing in E flat. And I play it in the key I know, staying in the middle register, not using my left hand, not going up on the top, and just putting a nice string pad back behind that. That is called wisdom. That's called, I don't know how to play in every key. I'm not that sophisticated. I'm not the most educated. I'm not the most credentialed a piano keyboard player. I am no Mozart here. But I had 3 minutes to make a terrible situation thrown at me work. And so thinking on my feet and taking what I knew about a song and an instrument, I was able to take that information and make a wise decision on how to make it work before people started coming into this service. And so that is how I used wisdom to create value. That wisdom equals wealth. So if wealth comes from learning how to apply what I know, or wisdom, then how do I develop or gain wisdom? You have to go where wisdom begins. Wisdom is a process. You don't wake up one day and know how to take everything you know and apply it in a way that brings you wealth. You have to start becoming wise. You have to start at the beginning of where wisdom originates and then build upon it. Now, for many people who share my faith, know a very popular passage written by the wealthiest man in recorded history. His name is Solomon. He wrote, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." This statement is key whether you share my faith or not. What he is literally saying is the reverent understanding of how the universe works and operates is where the ability to apply what you know begins. So if you want to know how to apply your knowledge to increase wealth, then get a greater and deeper understanding of how the world operates and it's governed. Not how you want it to work, not how you think it should work, not how you wished it would work, but how it actually works. And the thing that keeps us from seeing how the world works is lies that we all buy into from time to time. It keeps us from gaining the wisdom to design our business in a way that will build wealth. So there are multiple ways to build a business in a wise manner, but here is the way I have built my business, and I recommend others to do the same. I believe this model that I'm about to show you will give you margin in both your life, in money, time, and what you do. Like I said at the beginning, to me, that is true wealth. So here are the three income strategies that you have to have in place in your business if you want to be fully effective and building true wealth. Number one, you have to have a passive income stream. I get paid for the work I do when I did the work once, and then I just get paid off of it from there on after. I have a perpetual income stream. I get paid in a measurable, consistent stream indefinitely. And then I get paid doing what I love to do. I'm passionate. So my three income streams here at TW3, if you want to know how does Terry get paid, I get paid in a passive way, a perpetual way, and I get paid to do what I love, my passions. And so I want to break that down. Passive, how am I building passive income? I've got different tools like blogs, podcasts, and videos that you see me put out. So I do this podcast one time, I do this video one time, I do this blog one time. It has content on there that I'm getting paid either by third parties or through direct sales or some other means. So that's how my passive come. Perpetual income is when I have members that come on, I have RMPs that pay me a perpetual income consistently over and over, or I have subscription offers that I'm making that I get paid. You know, I'm still making money off of a perpetual income, off of insurance products I sold years ago. Okay. I sold that policy one time 10 years ago, and I'm still to this day, month after month, getting paid off of that. So that's my passive, that's my perpetual, and then my passion. If you notice, I love entrepreneurialism. I love sports and music. I love mindset and ministry content. So I'm constantly, that's what I'm giving. So I've got a passive component, I've got a perpetual component, and it's all done in the context of what my passions are. So this is all philosophical. So let me get into a real world example. I've got three here. Number one, it was a couponing podcast I did several years ago. It was 6 or 7 years ago that I did. And that particular podcast was done at one time. In the time it's been out, it's netted me somewhere over $40,000 now. And this is how it's been downloaded by hundreds of thousands of people. The offer for free coupons has been taken advantage of by thousands of people. Some of those people became members here at TW3. Many of those people became resellers that became members, became resellers of TW3. So that is me working one time to build a podcast that I was passionate about, helping people save money because it was things my wife learned and I've seen her do. And so I was just sharing. And I get paid passively through my referral marketing partners because I'm giving those coupon offers away. That pays me. I got members to come on that are now TW3 members, and I'm getting a percentage each month off of their activity here as far as them owning the platform. And then some of those folks became resellers, so I get a percentage through that process as well. So that's one way. Here's another one. I had a podcast where I was teaching on negotiating. As a matter of fact, it's the #1 podcast here at TW3 that I did about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was on how to negotiate. And the whole premise was don't manipulate, negotiate. And there's a distinction, and most people get into manipulation, and it undermines their negotiating skills. And there's a conflation that's taught in sales throughout our industry, and it kills a lot of people. And I go into that, and it got picked up by several real estate companies, insurance companies, and car salespeople in those industries, and it became viral in a lot of ways. And that one piece of content that I created has netted me so much recruiting for people in that space that it has been a huge component of TW3, a huge asset. I did it one time. The book I wrote a book, a few thousand copies have been sold, more I have been given away. I've sold 1,000 or so and given 1,000 or so away. You know, it's been about 4,000 copies that's gone out, either sold or given away. It's created a value for our brand, our members, and our message. All of this was done once. I wrote that book one time, and that creates and aids and abets in the creation of a passive perpetual income here at TW3, and all in the context of things that I'm passionate about. Now, I know what a lot of you say, so it's great to have all these tools to create. It's great that I did all of these things on these platforms that I'm passionate about. These tools help me, as you can see, create a lot of wealth. However, the secret sauce that I have at TW3 and I offer in our training and our tools is it's great to have content. It's great to talk about, write about, create videos about. It's great to do things in your business that you're passionate about. But if you don't have people consuming it, if you're not in front of people, if they're not watching it, then it's all for naught. So I can hear some of you say, yeah, well, that's great, Terry, just great. I appreciate you flexing on all of us. But if you think that you've missed my greater point, everything I just spoke about and illustrated, you can do too. People just like you, for over 1 decade, I've been helping others all over the world, really, take their money business life to new levels. Some were on the verge of bankruptcy. Some were in divorce court having their lives shattered in front of everyone to see. Some were trying to survive cancer at the time, and one that particular member I'm thinking about was living under a bridge down in New Orleans at the time with her daughter when we first made contact with her. We've helped thousands of people in the last 12 years. I don't know you. I don't know your story. You could be the greatest in the greatest season of your life right now. You could be doing okay, or you could be. However, I know this. Wherever you are right now, I'm sure you would like to do better. If you're making lots of money, I could safely guess, based on statistics, you're doing so on the schedule and maybe in the area that someone else has chosen for you. If you're like the majority of our clients, you might be surviving, but you're definitely not thriving. 98% of Americans do not have all three areas of margin, that is income, time, and obligation, fully implemented and operational in their careers and personal lives. So if you're wondering how you can take your passions, what you're passionate about, and inject it into your current business so you can execute on some strategies that will create a wise business model that will create wealth, margin, and enjoyment for your life, then here's all you got to do. You can contact us at terrywilson3.com or call 800-673-1728. We've got coaches that will help you. And we're not talking about joining another business. Maybe you need some tools that we have to infuse into your business to make it work. Maybe you don't have a business at all. Like I said, I don't know you. I don't know where you're at. But I can tell you this, you can start turning the labor you're doing today into passive perpetual income in areas of your life that you're passionate about if you have the right tools, training, and technology that will help you get there. See, I have found it's not a matter of desire. It's not a matter of want to. It's not a matter of hope, dreams, and wishes. People are rich with that. Where they're anemic, where they need help, is the how-to, the direction, the strategy, the tools, the means, the method, the mechanism that will help them take what they've got in their hands. And for some people, they don't even know. They don't even appreciate. They don't get that they have immense value living on the inside of them. They just don't know how to get that out and create value with it for others so that they can create wealth. That's why I wrote a book, You're Worth More, because it goes into how you can take what's on the inside of you and turn it into something that's of value to other people, creating value for you. If you need help, you can call 800-673-1728. That's 800-673-1728. Or go to terrywilson3.com. I've got coaches that will give you a 15-minute session for free to show you how you can take your money, business, and life to new levels.
He can't guarantee you success, but he sure can help you eliminate the excuses made so far for not achieving them. Now back to the TW3 studio with Terry Wilson.
It's so aggressive. It's so aggressive.
It is very aggressive.
It's very in your face.
Well, ironically, he asked, what style do you want me to do this in?
Yeah.
And I said, I want you to come across as suck it up, buttercup, you can do this. And that was the voiceover Keith gave me.
How's the feedback been?
I haven't gotten any. Do you guys like the new jingles? I guess we need to.
So no feedback means bad.
Is that what it means?
Probably.
I've never gotten feedback.
I don't know. I'm just reading into it. Probably. It's probably terrible.
The only feedback I've gotten is from Ed out in California. He loves Bobby B's.
Oh, okay.
The Australian or British guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because he says it's like cultural whiplash. You hear this British guy, and now back to the show with TW3, and then I come on as, "How you guys doing?" he said it's like, shoo. We went from lifestyles of rich and famous to hee-haw, and
pretty quickly.
In a matter of a split.
Our retention rate's about 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, that's about where we're at. So.
All right, so we had some questions. We're going to get into these email questions first. So our first question, I have a full-time job, but would love to start my own business. What do you suggest?
Well, yeah, I mean, number one, I would get with one of our career coaches, and they're going to ask you some specific questions. Number one, what are you passionate about? Forbes magazine says 98% of home-based businesses and people that start a business, they fail. And there's a lot of reasons attributed to that. The major reasons that most startup businesses fail is they just don't have a means to get in front of people that need, want, desire, and can afford what it is they offer. So that's the number one. But then the second one is, let's say you get into something and you get really proficient with lead generation and marketing, and boy, I mean, you're out there and you can, but then you're in a business you hate. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I'm doing this and I can sell the wheels off of it, but I hate the industry I'm in. I'm not passionate about it. So it's not sustainable. So some of the questions that our career coaches is going to be able to ask you is, number one, let's talk about what you like, and people don't realize in today's world, you could be as honest with that question as possible, because a lot of times people's like, well, what I like to sit at home and watch baseball and listen to music. Well, there's actually a way to build a business around baseball, blogging and podcasting, creating videos, and then having these affiliate and RMP links and CPA links and all these other things, and building a whole audience or a newsletter and sending it out and getting hooked up with Ticketmaster, getting hooked up with MLB and becoming one of their resellers. There's all different strategies that we can talk to you about. So believe it or not, be as honest as you want. There's a way that says, I'm going to be talking about insurance, but I'm going to build my show around baseball, and then the major sponsor is going to be this insurance company. So there's ways that you can stay in the thing that you love to do, but still monetize it. So I would tell that person, just if they don't have a coach they're working with, call us 800-673-1728 or email us at the website terrywilson3.com, and we'll hook them up with someone. They're going to ask them a series of questions, and then they're going to be able to show them, okay, this is what you can do, this is what you can do, this is how you can do it, this is what it'll cost to get started. And sometimes it don't cost anything. Sometimes it's going to cost a few dollars. Sometimes it's going to cost a few thousand. It just depends on what you're wanting to do. But I would say reach out and talk to them.
Cool. This second question is pretty fitting. See here, Terry, what all is required to be able to start selling insurance?
Well, I tell you what, since we've got a expert in the house tonight, I'm going to go ahead and defer to him. What does it take to get started? If you're right off the street, don't even know anything, you're Terry Wilson circa 2008.
Sure.
And the only thing you ever knew was music.
Yeah.
And where does that person go? How they get started?
I think there's a lot of different ways you can get into our industry. And I think, I'm a little bit biased, but I believe personally looking for a firm or a company that's going to be able to give you the tools, the support, the training, the resources you need. If you've never done an industry like insurance before, it can be overwhelming.
Absolutely.
And there's so many different lines and there's so many different niches that you can get into in our industry. But there's some basics. Obviously, you've got to look into the state you work in. You got to get your basic licensing under your belt. And again, depending on what you do, are you going to be an independent? Are you going to work for a captive firm like I do? Some of those firms will provide the training and the education. They'll give you even the resources to get licensed. I know our firm does. We give the training that they need to go get licensed. And then obviously you got to get licensed in the respective state where you're at. But after that, the fundamentals, I think, of our business and the things you got to do to get going is you got to build a simple strategic plan on how to network, how to prospect, and how to get in front of the right people. The products and learning the different sales concepts, those are pretty elementary. And I think anybody can learn those. Any firm's going to teach you that. But it's finding the ability to get in front of the right quality candidates, the right quality individuals to be able to build your business around. So I'm biased, but I believe it's honestly, if you're getting in this industry, get with a firm that's really going to give you the training, the hands-on development. They're going to continue to invest in you, and give you the platform to build off of early on. And then as you get into the industry, you can learn and see, is this where I want to stay, or do I want to branch out and go in different directions?
Sure. Well, I want to back you up. Even though I became an independent, I will tell anybody, and to this day, matter of fact, I got a videos. They can go to our YouTube channel, and I think it's entitled 6 Things You Got to Know Before You Get Started in Insurance. And the first thing, I'm breaking it down, the advantages of being captive and non-captive.
Sure.
And one of the things I say in that video, and I've said it for years, if you're starting brand new, go captive.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
I think people that, and I don't want to come across, but there are MLM companies out there cloaked in insurance.
100%, yes.
Types of businesses.
Yeah, we won't mention
I
names.
won't mention names, but the retention rate in those types of businesses are horrible.
Yes.
And the reason is because the success rate is horrible.
Well, they're just trying to sell your friends and family, and whether or not whether you make it or not.
The typical MLM.
Yes,
they just chew you up, spit you out.
That's all they're trying to do.
They're working you for your warm market.
Yes.
And thank you.
And that's one of the things, not to get into a commercial about my firm, but one of the things that we really focus on is we actually are teaching and training a totally different model from the standpoint of, I don't even want to go talk to your friends and family about their product, their needs. We are building a networking model. We're teaching networking on how to build off of your natural market without selling, without even having to take their wallet out. Because let's face it, if you were in music, and then 6 weeks later, you're doing investments, insurance, and retirement planning, and I've known you my whole life. Do I really think you know what
the credibility there?
You don't know anything yet.
Exactly.
But most of those people still love you, care about you. They want to see you succeed. And so they're willing to sit down and talk about the vision for what you're trying to build and what is the platform and what are you trying to become an advocate for in the community, and how are you going to be educational to people and provide the value they need. And they're willing to introduce you to other people.
Right.
They're not always willing to say, oh,
they'll let someone else be a guinea pig.
Here's all my assets. Yeah, that doesn't usually happen right out of the gate.
Exactly. But you're right on. And, I don't think, and there's pros and cons, I'm a proponent of independence. If you know what you're doing, you're a pro. And if you are in a sales model or business model that is incongruent with the house.
I think you have to have already been in a form of sales similar at some level. Obviously not the same product, but you have to have already had the disciplines, and especially the networking and marketing side of it. If you've never done that before, just to expect to figure out how to do that on your own, plus learning the industry, I don't see many. You don't see many people succeed like that.
Sure.
And even on the captive side, there's still failure, obviously significant, but it's just a totally different support system. With most firms, not all of them. You gotta do your research, because a lot of firms it's interesting, even in the captive model, we're seeing a lot of firms less and less investment in the new person. In our world, I have a team of management leadership training that's what their job is. I bring them into my firm. I recruit somebody and I build a relationship with them, and I spend time with them also alongside of my team of leadership. And their job is to train, develop, support. It's not to go sell. It's to teach you how to do it. And a lot of the industry is going away from that because that's an expensive piece of management that firms have to pay for. And we still are committed to that as an organization, which makes it nice.
Well, honestly, the way this business evolved was I was captive. I wanted to do internet. It wasn't a fit necessarily at that time period.
Not then, for sure.
Not then. So, and this was the world I knew, internet marketing. So I went independent, and then I started building this agency. But I noticed in the independent agency market, here's the problem, that I'm investing all of this time, money, resources, and everything into this person that then goes down the road and gets a 5% or 10% better commission. So they're taking all my leads. and they're going and writing it. And so my ability to be monetized for that value that I gave them. So I said, good, there's got to be a way that's different. So what I did was, it's just the Lord. I got a really good contract with several different carriers because of a contact I made down in Georgia who sort of made me a broker.
Right.
That just doesn't happen.
Right.
You know, that's just favor in my opinion. But I just basically gave them almost, I think my override was like 5%. I mean, it was nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which I was giving them 10 and 15, 20% above what they could get at street level. So I was very attractive. So here was the deal. But I don't train you unless you buy my training.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, I got you.
So you're paying me every month. You go lump sum and then a monthly thing. And I'm giving you all these tools, training, assets and everything, showing you how to generate leads, giving you data lists for, $5 per 1,000.
Right.
Which you can't get from USA Data or anything.
No, you can't.
So you know the value in that.
Sure.
And that's how this whole thing evolved. And then insurance agents like, hey, can I sell this to my sub agents?
Sure.
So it turned into and so here we go. Mm-hmm. But the nature of that industry and how it's designed was the reason why this got designed the way it did, was to try to fit that independent market. But if you can find a great captive agency and it's congruent with what you're trying to do, I mean
14 years later, this.
Yeah.
I've had opportunities. We've talked about opportunities.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there is good captive opportunities out there where you can build a great career.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that's why we're successful here. We're not captive, but a lot of the things I learned there about support, training, modules, sales models, all of these different things I was able to implement on even here. Go ahead, Reagan. What's the next one? Great stuff.
Cool. Do you have to be in insurance to be with TW3?
No. We've got clients of ours that use our platform that are realtors. We've got people that are in the health and fitness. We've got people that are in, we just brought someone on the other day. In what business? It was a very unique business, and I can't think. We've got chiropractors, doctors, lawyers. I mean, at the end of the day, all TW3 is a business and marketing platform that supports any independent business or business owner or salesperson out there. Because at the end of the day, I've always said, you don't have a church, you don't have a school, you don't have a business until you have people. Mm-hmm. You got a hobby until you got people. You know what I'm saying? You got a dream until you got people. Right. And so that's what and we've got a CRM in our system. We got bulk text, bulk email, everything you need to start generating. We've got training modules on how to qualify them. We've got all that. But no, you don't have to. It was just insurance is the seed bed that this all grew out of. That's all.
Cool. What kind of income can I expect if I'm really good at sales but suck at the computer stuff with TW3?
It's just, well, if you're talking about TW3, only way I can answer that is just give you the statistics, because there's no guarantee. It's a business opportunity. Here's the statistics. The lowest you would make on a product of us of ours is $750. The most you would make is $18,000, depending on which package. Okay. It takes 25 qualified leads on average to close one. It takes about 100 leads that you generate to get 25 qualified leads. And our sales cycle is usually about 2.5 to 3 weeks. So those are the metrics that our sales model goes by. Now, I've got people, greenbacks that's on here tonight. If this guy talks to 2 people, one of them bought. If you got me, I have to talk to 100 people to persuade one person to even come back and talk to me again. I mean, it's just everybody's ability to close and everything is all over the map. But listen to this guy, you don't have to be a computer guru. We've got ways to where you can use our system in a very simplistic way. Now, you can't automate a lot of stuff. You're doing a lot of grunt work. A lot of the automatic stuff that this system will do will be hindered based on what you can do there, but you can still use some of the other components that aren't as technical and still make a lot of money.
And then last question was, I was looking at your store. Can you explain the difference between the Plus and Elite membership?
Yeah, so there's 3 levels. If you're looking for a business opportunity, we have the sales rep and trainer. That's just where you're a reseller of ours, and then you train the people that you sold the system to. You train them on it. That's all you're doing. You don't get equipped to do anything else. We don't train you how to generate leads for insurance, real estate, directs, any other directs. Well, you don't get trained for that. You're trained on how to resell TW3. If you're a Plus member, that means, hey, I'm already in insurance, real estate, direct sales, MLM, network marketing, retail, restaurant, whatever. You got something. You got your own gig, and I'm looking for a tool to generate leads for that. Well, that's our Plus package. And then the Elite package is our top package, where you get to resell, you get to use it as a tool to generate leads for an existing business, and you get to do what we call referral marketing, which is where you get contracted with these third-party companies and get paid to generate leads for them, whether a sale is made or not, which is really cool. Like, for instance, I can tell you, go over to terrywilson3.com/free book, and I can give you a free audio book away from Audibles. You go over there, you try them out for a month, and whether you keep their service or not, they're going to give you a free book, free audio book. I'm going to get paid $15 just for sending you over there. That's some of the ways that our RMP. Or, hey, I'm looking for a job. Entrepreneurialism isn't right for me right now. I need an hourly or salary job. I can tell you, go to terrywilson3.com/jobs, click on hourly salary, get you, if you take the appointment, if you put in your information, you take the appointment, that company over there pays me just to send you over there. That's referral marketing. In other words, I'm getting paid to refer you. That's in our Elite package. And then once you have that at that level, well, there's 15 different ways from Sunday that you can monetize your leads that you engage. And we've got training on that. So good stuff, guys. Listen, did we tell them on the front end to share the podcast? I don't think we did we?
No, you kind of skipped past our panel stuff, but it's fine. That's fine.
Okay. All right. I tell you what.
I'm just too excited that I was here.
We got so excited that Ryan was in the house that we forgot. So here's what we're going to do. We'll just pick someone out of the audience that's on here and on the chat, or shared it, or we'll find it somewhere. And I tell you what, we will send you the ebook version of that right there. This is our new book that just came out, Warning, Opportunity Ahead, How to See and Provide Value During COVID-19. We'll find someone and we'll send them a copy of that. Do we want to do ebook, or we'll do it? I'll tell you what, we'll do the paperback version. We'll just send out the paperback version of that. Okay. When we get back right after this.
So I want to tell you about a new service that I'm excited about. You probably have heard the old adage, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, that is true when it comes to your logo. That goes into your branding. Who are you? What are you about? What turns you on? Who are you after? What do you offer? All of those things are conveyed in one image, in one picture. And we have got a special offer where you can go over to terrywilson3.com/logo. And with this software, you've got hundreds and hundreds of templates to go by, and you can pick, drop, drag. You don't have to be a design artist, a graphic designer to use this. It's so simple. And no matter what industry you're in, you're going to be able to find a template that's going to convey your message. So go over to terrywilson3.com/logo. That's terrywilson3.com/logo and get your message out today.
And now back to our show with Terry Wilson.
That's the one that Ed was talking about right there. He says it sounds like the guy off of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And then it swings right over and you got Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done, It's cultural whiplash. Well, guys, we hope you had enjoyed episode 433. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to give this book out to Thomas O'Day. We're giving you this book out. If you're on and you're listening, all you have to do is go to terrywilson3.com/contact, and we will give you the new copy of Warning, Opportunities Ahead. And this was we actually took a training that we did in our conference, and there's a story, if you haven't heard that podcast, it's where a lady down in Georgia was being laid off. She's a school teacher, and they were downsizing and bringing it because of all this COVID stuff. And able to get her a job, able to get her bills consolidated into one loan, able to do all kinds of things for her. Didn't sell her anything and ended up making $3,400. And I show them how you can take these RMP offers and step by step help people where they're at get paid, because all you're doing at the end of the day is you're taking their information and you're giving that information over to this company, and they're paying you for lead, and you're taking their information, and whether they buy anything or not, you've sold the lead. It's just like when an insurance guy goes to net leads or net quote or whatever that company is, and it's the same print.
Bought out, so I don't know. I keep up.
All web leads or whoever they are, all these companies, but that's the whole principle here. So I showed them step by step how to do that. It's a great book, and so it's well worth the read. So Thomas, I hope you enjoy that. So guys, what are y'all going to do while we're going down to Georgia? Are you going to Georgia with us? Are you going?
I didn't even know about this until now, to be honest. So maybe.
You guys travel too much.
I think I do.
Would you believe our kids complain when we go on vacation?
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
Is that awkward?
That's not normal, and that's not normal.
I tell these kids, I was like, man, when we grew up, we just we thought it was the cat's meow just to get down to Ocean Lakes at Myrtle Beach.
Dirty Myrtle,
baby.
I think it's a cat's meow right now.
A cat litter box.
For real.
You know what's the cat's meow? My bed. My bed at home.
I think really it's just we're in a pandemic right now, and I'm really just concerned for the nation's safety. And I think that's what it is.
You're so benevolent.
I try to be thoughtful. So.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed episode 433. Ryan, thank you so much for being on tonight. I hope it didn't wear you out too much.
I'll be all right.
He's over going, I cannot believe people get paid to do this.
Oh yeah. Now that you see the behind the scenes, it's like, well, this is nothing.
This is immoral. People get paid to do this.
This is wrong.
It's wrong. This is why Bernie's out there saying the 1%.
That's exactly right.
He's over here. We about flipped him. He's saying, Bernie might have a point. He was a capitalist before he got in here.
Now.
We almost got him.
Got him. See you guys later.
Thank you for listening to TerryWilson3.com today. If you've decided you are worth more, then go to TerryWilson3.com now and get a free digital sample copy of the book. You are worth more. Listen, no one's going to give you what you're worth but you. So stop putting off and get started earning, enjoying, and experiencing what you are worth today. Go to TerryWilson3.com now to start your journey today. That's TerryWilson3.com.